This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, we serve up some mocktails as an alternative to drinking alcohol during New Year's festivities. Plus, we have other tips to keep you safe and happy in 2015. Good evening and thanks for joining us at FYI. I'm Ken Carr. We begin with some headlines from the Hazleton Standard Speaker and FYI. State police in Hazleton are investigating a case of road rage. According to our media partner, the Standard Speaker, 65-year-old Thomas W. Paisley of Hazleton was assaulted just before 10:30 p.m. on Sunday night. Police say that the suspect, a man in his 20s, followed Paisley to the gas pumps at Turkey Hill on North Church Street in Hazel Township, assaulted him, then fled in an older white sport utility vehicle. According to police, Paisley was taken to the hospital with a serious head injury. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to call State Police at 570-459-3890. He was appointed to the post 2 years ago, and now Pennsylvania Supreme Court Justice Coriel Stevens says he does plan to officially run for that same office. Stevens, who is the only member of the state Supreme Court from Northeast Pennsylvania, plans to make a formal announcement in the new year, and that's according to our media partner, the Standard Speaker. The 68-year-old Stevens was nominated to the post in 2013 by Governor Tom Corbett. Stevens stressed that at the time, no one asked him, and he never made a promise not to run once his current seat expired. He says that some people were under the misconception that he promised he would not run for the seat. State law currently mandates that judges cannot serve after the age of 70. Stevens pointed out that the legislature has voted once before to extend that age to 75 in one case. He anticipates that will be made law in the near future. It's one of the biggest celebrations of the year, ringing in the new year. Today we stopped by the Laurel Mall where we found one agency doing its part to discourage drinking and driving.
We're from Pathway to Recovery in Hazleton, formerly known as Sorrento Gardens, and we're here at the mall. We have a stand here talking about mocktails. We want everybody to be safe and celebrate responsibly for the new year. So we're offering a homemade punch, non-alcoholic, as well as some other treats here. We have different recipe booklets here to give you a handful of different options to provide a safe alternative to alcohol for the holiday season. We also offer tips for hosts and hostesses who are having parties to keep their guests safe during the holiday season. Some of the tips, making sure that you're serving food at any of the parties so that you can counteract the alcohol, making sure people stop drinking at least an hour before they leave, if they have a safe place to stay in case they are enjoying themselves a little too much to drive home for the holiday season, things like that.
Amy Pacenti is a prevention specialist with Pathway to Recovery. For more information, contact the agency at 570-455-9902, or you can visit them on the web at pathway-to-recovery.org. AAA is reminding drivers and passengers of the dangers on the roads this New Year, heading toward New Year's Day, which it says ranks among the year's deadliest days for alcohol-related traffic fatalities. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 10,076 people died in drunk driving crashes in 2013, nearly one-third of overall fatalities. AAA estimates that a first-time DUI conviction can cost a motorist more than $10,000 in fines, penalties, legal fees, and increased insurance costs. With this in mind, AAA encourages you to plan ahead and always have a designated driver. Never get behind the wheel if you've been drinking, and don't hesitate to take the keys from someone who may be impaired. Use mass transit or call a taxi. Be a responsible host and offer alcohol-free beverages. And if you do encounter an impaired driver, keep safe distance and ask a passenger to dial 911 or pull over to call. Now, you can also download the NHTSA's new Safe Ride app, which allows users to call a taxi or a friend and identify their location so they can be picked up. For more information, visit preventdui.aaa.com. Coming up next on FYI, Lisa Sugart has part 2 of her series on the problem of heroin in our area. And later in sports, we'll talk about a dramatic Hazleton area win and show you our play of the year.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
We we certainly live in a caring and generous community. We're here on Care for Kids talking with Lori O'Gurkis about Brandon's Forever Home, a 501c3 that has recently formed and really is giving back to this community. The highlight is on foster and adoption children. And Lori, we have seen such an outcry from this community, both individual-based and company-based.
Absolutely. I am always blown away by the generosity of the human spirit when it comes to Hazelton, Luzerne County, lower Luzerne County, but even reaching so far as to northern, Luzerne County, and even childhood friends, preschool friends that have moved out of state, that they're packaging up items and sending them up here to help our cause. So it's really overwhelming when you see how far-reaching our work has gone.
There are about 4,000 children right now in Luzerne County who need placement.
400.
400. Okay.
On an annual basis.
Okay.
There's 400 children typically that come into foster care in Luzerne County. Children that are waiting to be adopted throughout the United States is 100,000.
Okay.
And there's 400,000 children who are in foster care throughout the United States.
Okay.
So, when you see those numbers and you see how we can affect change just by connecting with those children and possibly seeing them go into a great home of people who are wanting a child and seeing that connection take place, it's divine. It's miraculous. At the end of the day, that is the sole purpose, is to provide these children loving homes and homes that are just missing that one thing that they want so badly, and it being a child and making that partnership.
Now, the people, we're going to throw out some names, not that they want the recognition, but we feel that they deserve it.
Absolutely. I have been astounded by the companies that have reached out to us, such as Boscov's. They were able to provide the duffel bags. So now we've known in 2014 that we've stopped that practice in Luzerne County. So all children will be receiving a duffel bag if they enter foster care, stopping the practice of garbage bags, stopping the practice of plastic bags used on children. Banco Dental, just today, they teamed up with us. They're going to provide us all the dental kits. So along with area dentists, such as Dr. Falvello and the Hazelton Dental Association, they've partnered up to make sure that the bags always come with dental kits. So people are looking every which way within their own spectrum, their own network, their arena, and saying, what can we do to help these children and at the same time raise the recognition of children in foster care, which I think is at the end the most important thing.
And we do these segments to spotlight when we say they or she or he as foster or adoption care, they are a part of our community.
Absolutely, they are our children. Those are our children, they're our faces. They just unfortunately have suffered some sort of family crisis, so they don't necessarily are connected as an adoptive child, but they're still here, and I'm wanting them to realize that we see them, that they are part of our community, and that we are making sure that their voices are heard and that we can affect change on their behalf to make sure that they get great homes.
I know people at home are sitting there and you're thinking, what can I do to help? So keep thinking out there, and if you have a donation, you can either contact Lori or you can check us out on Facebook, Brandon's Forever Home. We are accepting donations individually and also through companies. Yes,
absolutely. We get individual donations. I know this weekend we have to go to Whitehaven. There's a woman who has furniture, from the 1940s that are it's very period pieces, but the house is a period house. So, and she's generous of heart to be able to provide that. I know I have other people who work within Humboldt and are saying, okay, my husband, his company is a Conoco. They deal in store fixtures. So they're going to be able to provide all of that for that house. So everybody is looking at which angle they can in order to help us out individually and as a corporation.
All right. Well, thank you, Lori O'Gurkis. Again, Brandon's Forever Home. We're talking about care for kids each Tuesday here on SSPTV.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Here's a look at the moon rising in the city of Hazelton. What a clear day in the downtown area. Let's go to our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low around 13 degrees. On Wednesday, New Year's Eve, partly sunny, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 23. Wind chill values as low as 0. That's the same for the night. Wind chill as low as 0 as we get down to 12 degrees on a mostly clear night. New Year's Day will be sunny with a high of 27. New Year's night will get down to partly cloudy with a low around 20. For our Friday, the sun comes back with a high near 31. Friday night mostly cloudy with a low around 26. On Saturday, 50% chance of rain and snow, mostly cloudy with a high of 34, and then a 60% chance of rain, snow, and freezing rain and sleet. At night, the low will be around 30 degrees. Well, should you need to warm up on a cold day, stop into the Pines Eatery and Spirits at 8 West Broad Street in the Markle Building in downtown Hazleton and enjoy a delicious bowl of soup or one of their tasty specials or their famous barbecues. That's the Pines Eatery and Spirits in downtown Hazleton. Tonight, we continue our 3-part series on the heroin problem plaguing the area. Here's Lisa Sugar.
We're continuing to talk about the serious problem of heroin that is plaguing the United States, the state of Pennsylvania, and right here in Luzerne County. And we're pleased to welcome District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis to keep us up to date on what is happening in the county. DA Salavantis, it's a pleasure to have you here. How is it going, this war on drugs in our communities?
It's sad. It's sad to see what's going on in our communities. Growing up here in Luzerne County, it was such a different place. As most people know, it's cheaper to go out and buy drugs on the street than to go out and buy alcohol. So it has been very difficult on the police departments, the DA's offices across the state, across the country. So we are working together with agencies throughout the state that are coming in to help us, as well as federal, the FBI coming in because they see the need here in Luzerne County for the help.
When the Attorney General's task force was here, did you see that making a difference in helping out?
You know, it showed that we have all of these agencies willing to step up, willing to come into Luzerne County and help us with this problem. And I want people to know it's not just here in Luzerne County and we're isolated and we're only dealing with this issue. This is statewide. That mobile street crimes unit will be going throughout the entire state to help different counties with the same problem we're being faced with. And I am hearing from different criminals and defense attorneys that these criminals coming in are aware that these agencies are placing individuals here in our county to help us.
When we talk with the police chief for the city of Hazleton and all the local police chiefs, they're strapped. They would love to have more officers on the streets walking around. So that is a difficult situation. So what are all the agencies doing then in trying to support each other? Because when you do see a crime scene, you do see all the different agencies showing up to help each other out.
Right. And I decided, it was almost a year ago now, to create what we called the ATAC unit. And it was to bring all these different agencies together. And most people know them as saturation patrols. Bringing agencies together from all different areas and having them just saturate different communities and showing that there are boots on the streets and that we are not going to give up on our streets. And so that has showed a major difference in the communities we've hit so far. It's sort of the same as the mobile unit that was brought in by the AG's office. It's similar in what they're trying to do and what we are trying to do. It's to show that there is, I should say, law enforcement presence in all of the communities. That's what's going to help us in the long run.
And how important is it to have the community support, the many crime watches, and individuals who are the eyes and ears for the police and the DA's office as well?
I go around and I speak to so many people in the community and attend the crime watch meetings and say how important it is. Criminals go into those communities, and when they see that there are people watching them, they're scared, because that will be an easy way for them to end up in jail. They monitor if there are signs in windows that say active crime watch, things of that nature. They are aware of that, and we know that for a fact. So those are very important groups that help us in this fight, and we couldn't do it without the community. The calls that are coming in saying, I think there's something going on in this house. We're seeing a lot of meth labs and mobile meth labs in our county, and a lot of them have been, I would say a lot of them have been uncovered because of calls that are coming in from the community. Without that, I don't know how we would be able to do it.
If someone is watching right now and they have some information maybe they could pass along, what is the best number for them to call to give a tip?
Well, I would say call the Hazleton Police Department, especially in Hazleton, but in any community, call your local police department, give a tip, and those local police departments actually call us directly and myself to say, I need help with this, say, meth lab that we have determined, or they'll call the Attorney General's office, and we will start from there working together in trying to eliminate that problem from the communities. So call your local police department and get to know the police officers in your community, because that's the first step of helping.
Some very good advice from District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis. Thank you for joining us. We welcome you back anytime to keep us up to date on how things are going.
Thank you very much.
Our final segment will be tomorrow when Lisa talks with Hazleton Police Chief Frank D'Andrea. Before we break, here are your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers. Your daily number 874, the big 4 9798, Quinto 98059, and Treasure Hunt 16, 20, 21, 25, and 30. Prepare yourselves. The play of the year is coming your way next.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
I hope your couch has a seatbelt because you're about to see the local sports play of the year, and blink a few times now because you're not going to want to do it when you hear this story about how the Hazleton area boys basketball team beat Hatboro Horsham 56-51 after 2 overtimes in the Cougar Holiday Classic. This 2-overtime game was a trial by fire for a group of young Cougars looking for wins and momentum before opening up play in the Wyoming Valley Conference.
A lot of these guys, they've never been in a pressure-packed game. You know, they've never been in an overtime game. This was their first experience in that, where every play is important. And I thought they did a great job in stepping up and making plays when we needed them.
By keeping their cool, the Cougars survived this trial by fire. The first really big shot came with the Cougars down by 3 and time running out in the first quarter. That's when Dante Biazzi lit things up.
We do a little drill at the end of our shoot-around days. We do a little half-court shooting drill, and he tends to make those from time to time. He almost made one earlier in the year. He actually made one about 10 feet in earlier in the year at the end of a quarter. Not as deep, but he seems to have that in his bag a little bit, so that was a good one. Definitely to tie it up after 1 quarter.
Just a little side note before we jump back into the game story.
Longest shot you ever hit in an actual game?
No, actually in the feeling why I hit one from like the opposite foul line one time in a game, but it was up there.
The Cougars had a 6-point lead in the fourth quarter, but Hatboro Horsham found their way back after hitting 3 3-pointers that put the pressure back on the Cougars. That's when Biazzi stepped back in for an encore performance. His score with 20-some seconds left in regulation tied the game at 43. The Cougars defense held at the other end, and the game went to overtime. In the second overtime, the Cougars' Bobby Planutis grabbed a few big rebounds and hit 5 of 6 free throws. He scored 5 of the Cougars' 9 points in the second overtime to help give the Big HA a big 56-51 victory.
He's been battling a little bit of a pulled hamstring as well. He's been limited a little bit with his practice time, but he does so much for us. He could play inside, he could play out. He's our best foul shooter, and he showed that tonight, hitting a bunch of key foul shots at pressure times. Dante Biazzi making it a 5-point game there at the end. He made some huge plays in the overtimes, defensively and offensively. He hit that runner to tie the game at 43. It was just a good overall effort by a lot of different guys. We started bigger, we ended up smaller. I think it was the defensive unit that we needed out on the floor at that time, and I'm thrilled with the victory against a good District 1 team.
You said playing JV last year. What was this game like for you? If you had to describe it just in a few sentences, what was it like?
It was the first time I was in a real game that was real close. We came out on top, double overtime, hit a couple key free throws.
What's going through your head as you're standing at the free throw line? You said never in a game like that.
I'm pretty confident because I practice free throws a lot, so.
With glowing embers still giving off light from the Huey McGeehan gymnasium floor, the Cougars looked cool, calm, collected, and battle-tested after the game, ready for whatever the championship game of the Cougar Holiday Classic has in store. Coach Joseph saying defense key in that victory. I would like to take just one more look at our FYI play of the year. Dante Biazzi deflects the pass, and Mike Casadas does a great job of getting possession back and getting it back to Biazzi, whose spin move before the shot ups the difficulty level, and he scores perfect tens from every judge ever in the history of sports. The Cougars will face Shipley School in the championship game on Tuesday. Shipley beats Stroudsburg, who will play Hatboro Horsham in the consolation game. Now to the FYI standard speaker scoreboard. In other tournament action, the Lady Cougars beat Marion Center in the Carl Truant's Holiday Tournament in Punxsutawney. The Big HA is in the championship game on Tuesday. At the State College Kiwanis Tournament, the hosts, they beat Nord Schuylkill to get into the title game. In Monomoy City, Monomoy area and Shenandoah Valley picked up wins, so the 4-6-2 girls basketball crew and the Lady Bears will meet in the Senator Rhodes Tournament Championship game on Tuesday. In boys basketball action, MMI beat Panther Valley in a non-conference game, and Tamaqua also in a non-conference game. They lost their first game of the season, a close one, to Pleasant Valley in overtime. Happy Wing Night. It's Wing Night at Bottlenecks. Get $2 off your order of wings or all-you-can-eat wings and boneless wings for only $14.95. Bottlenecks wings are voted best wings in the area year after year.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. One announcement: the McAdoo Fire Company will be holding their annual Super Bowl food sale Sunday, February 1st from noon to 4 p.m. They'll once again be serving great wings in several flavors, pork barbecue and stromboli. Pre-orders will be taken until January 25th by calling 570-929-2042. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. James McNeilis of Hazleton. Mass is Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Most Precious Blood Church. Friends may call Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Arrangements are under the direction of the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. Veronica J. Tutko of Hazleton. The McHugh Wilczek Funeral Home will announce complete arrangements. Frederick D. Hafner Jr. of Drums. No viewing or services are presently planned. Linda T. Humanick of Hazel Township. Arrangements will be announced by the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Agnes Salco, Sugarloaf Township. Mass is Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. in the St. John Bosco Church. Friends may call Wednesday from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. The Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And Magdalene E. Wittenick of West Hazleton. Mass is Friday at 10 a.m. in the Transfiguration Church. Friends may call at the church Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. The Hillary J. Bonin Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Amber Frey of Freeland. Amber, if you're watching, give us a call right now, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
Mix me a mocktail. I'll see you again on New Year's Eve for another new FYI. Until then, take it easy, everyone.